In this demo, we will be highlighting identity and access solutions provided in Windows Server 2012. More specifically, we will focus on Dynamic Access Control feature. In Windows Server 2012, you can apply data governance across your file servers to control who can access the information and to audit who has accessed the information. So let's take a look on how it simplifies data compliance and access control. I'm going to start with the domain controller in the Active Directory Administrative Center. Under the Dynamic Access Control option, I have defined a couple of central access rules. These rules can be used to manage access to the files. Let's take a look at the first rule for department access. This policy is targeted for files associated with specific departments like finance, HR. The access policy is dynamically designed to check the user department attribute and provide access to only the associated department members. Meaning, Tim from finance can get access to the files that are tagged for finance department. Then we also have another rule for high impact data. The application for that rule would be any high impact data, maybe like a credit card number. This rule could be applied and only owner or the administrator of that file could be allowed access to these files. I'm on the file server now and I have shares for various departments in the company. I can now apply the central policies here. Going to properties and security option, I have new choice to define central access policies in the advanced option. So as you can see here, we have defined the Contoso central access policy that we had configured in the domain controller. And those rules that we saw, high impact rules and departmental access rules, are part of this central access policy. Once that is done, individual departmental leads can go into their folders and tag the information appropriately so that data access rules can be configured or applied. I also want to protect the high impact data and make sure that sensitive files are automatically encrypted. We can do this with Windows Server 2012 and Active Directory Rights Management Services. Within File Server Resource Manager, I have the ability to define classification rules. In our example, we have defined a classification rule for any sensitive information like credit card data. Within this rule, we identify the scope for this policy. We have identified all our data drives. Then we created a classification policy that is looking at the content inside the file. And we have created a parameter, and in this case, we are searching for any reference to credit card numbers. Anytime a credit card information is found in a document, it's now going to take an action. We have set the attribute to high impact data. Following on that, we can create a task based on this policy. In this case, we have a task that is automatically applying encryption to any such file which meets a condition. And the condition in this file is any file that has impact data value set to high, an action will be taken. So let's look at these access policies from a user's perspective. And I'm logged in as user Tim from finance department. First, we can see that all the department shares, he should be able to access the data in finance folder. However, based on our earlier policy, Tim should not be able to access any other folders from other departments. Now let's look at RMS protection. There is a personal document here for customer information that includes some sensitive information on credit card numbers. So let's assume that Tim saves this file on a public share. Now it's going to a file server, and by our policy, this file, because it has credit card information, should be tagged as high impact data. So let's go to classification, look at the impact. It's automatically tagged as high impact. And furthermore, this file is automatically encrypted, tagged as high impact data, and only appropriate owners or appropriate users based on our earlier policy will be able to access this file. In conclusion, we saw how Dynamic Access Control in Windows Server 2012 provides a new way for organization to control access to information and achieve regulatory compliance. Organizations can classify unstructured data on their file servers easily. They can apply information governance based on this classification by using next generation access and auditing controls, as well as classification based encryption. Thank you.